Okay, for the chemistry pH and pOH calculations sheet, it's the big table sheet there on the front, the sheet that you got today. I'm not going to do the problems for you. I'm just going to set them up. You should, by this point, with all the stuff that we've done, be pretty clear on what your tools are, what your formulas are, and how you can get from where you're starting to where you need to go. So, pH, and then you have to fill in the rest. Obviously, your first choice is from pH to your hydronium ion concentration. And remember, that's the same thing as your hydrogen ion concentration. So just use the formula that allows you to switch back and forth. That would be the antilog of the negative pH. So that's one way to fill in that piece. Of course, the easiest thing to do is 14 equals your pH plus your pOH. So just take 14 minus 3.78 to get your pOH. And once you have your pOH, do the same thing. Antilog of your negative pOH will give you your OH concentration. This is just our review of everything. It is a grind of a worksheet. I know, but I want you to work it and work it and work it until you can't make a mistake anymore, rather than you're still making silly mistakes. I want this to become boring because you're always getting the right answer. So keep working at this stuff. The last thing that you need for that table is pH, and is whether the solution is an acid or base. And that always comes down to pH. If you're below 6.9, you're an acid. If you're above 7.1, you're a base. So for our first row, that would be an acid solution or an acidic solution. Just to give you some help, our hydronium ion concentration, H3O+, is 1.66 times 10 to the minus 4th molar. The pOH, I shouldn't have to tell you this one, is 10.22, and our hydroxide ion concentration is 6.03 times 10 to the minus 11th molar. Use your formulas, make sure you work those out and get the same correct answer. I'll do 3 more, the top 4 on this row total. So let's take a look at the next one. The next row starts off, or the only thing the next row gives you is your hydronium ion concentration, which, remember, that's the same thing as saying your hydroxide ion concentration. So to get there to pH, if I'm given my hydroxide ion concentration, pH equals the negative log of my hydroxide ion concentration. So it's the negative log of that number up there. Once I get my pH, 14 equals my pH plus my pOH. That'll give me my pOH. And then once I have my pOH, I need to get back to my hydrogen ion or hydroxide ion concentration. And that equals the antilog of my negative pOH. And of course, when you're asked if it's acidic or basic, you always go back to your pH, whatever you get for your pH. On this problem, let me run down the answers. pH should be around 3.41. pOH should be around 10.59. Your hydroxide ion concentration should be about 2.57 times 10 to the minus 11th molar. And whether it's acidic or basic, go back to the pH. 3.41, that is acidic. No denying that. It's not even close to 7. All right, 2 more. Okay, on this row, easy enough to start with. Your pOH is given to you at 5.19. From that, you can figure out your pH rather quickly. 14 equals pH plus pOH. From there, you can then figure out your hydroxide ion concentration. by doing the antilog of your negative pOH. And then once you have your pH from this calculation, you do the same thing over here, except with hydrogen. Hydrogen concentration equals antilog of your negative pH. And then if you're figuring if it's acid or base, it's going to depend on your pH. So for this sheet, for this row, running it across, we've got a pH of about 8.81. We've got a hydronium ion, hydrogen concentration of 1.55 times 10 to the minus 9th molar. We've got a hydroxide ion concentration of 6.46 times 10 to the minus 6 molar. And whether it's acid or base, again, all depends on your pH right there. 8.81 is above 7 where I come from, so this thing is basic. For the last one that I'm helping you out with today, whatever time it is, it's late when I'm doing this, trust me. You're starting out with your hydroxide ion concentration of 4.88 times 10 to the minus 6. What can I get for my hydroxide ion concentration? There's only one thing I can get, and that is my pOH. And that is equal to the negative log of my hydroxide ion concentration. So that number right up there. That's my hydroxide ion concentration. Once I get my pOH, of course, 14 equals my pH plus my pOH. So that'll give me my pH. Once I have my pH, I want to figure out my hydronium or hydroxide ion concentration, and that equals the antilog of my negative pH. And then if we want to know acid or base, again, we go right back to pH and whatever that number is. So running these down, I got a pH of about 8.69. I got a hydronium ion concentration of 2.04 times 10 to the minus 9th molar. I've got a pOH of 5.31, and whether this thing is acidic or basic, go back to pH. 8.69, again, above 7, this stuff is basic. So for the rest of your time or the rest of this sheet, when I come back in Friday and I'm checking homework, I want to see 5, 10 of these done. I'm not asking for the whole sheet, but I want to see that you are working. Don't copy somebody else's, because that means you won't know how to do it for the test or for the final. Make sure you know how to do it. You'll call me weird, but this is kind of relaxing to me to just go through step by step by step. And once you get in a groove and you know you can't get it wrong, it's like a certain calmness comes over you. So work through as many as you can, but if you just do 1 or 2, or if you show this to me on Friday with only these 4 done, expect the bad grade that you've earned, because you need to work these through and make sure you understand them. We'll go over them Friday. We'll probably finish up this sheet and the hydrolysis of salts on Friday just to make sure everybody has it, but you need to do the work. We can't start on Friday with you not knowing how to do this. Make sure you do the work.